From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another conversation with Trent and his beautiful, wonderful friends. We got another messy Sunday here tonight. We're talking about poisonous passion, the dangers of toxic attractions. The dangers of toxic attractions. Come on, let's be real, folks. I'm more than sure everyone's been attracted to toxic attractions, all that stuff. I know I have. I definitely know I have. Hasn't fared out pretty good for that at all. Going on that path of toxic and dealing with people with major issues, which become your issues. So let's talk about it, man. We're gonna bring Shannon in here. We're waiting on Coach D to bring up the rear. So let's bring Shannon. One sec. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Uh-oh.
Am I on a delay again?
No, you're good. I think your situation with your heater is popping off over here.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. I'll be cold. I'll be a little cold for an hour. That's okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the things I go through, the things I go through. What's going on?
Hey. Oh, not much. Well, no, I'm not going to say that much. It's a lot because the weekend is just whizzed by. And I'm like, how is it already Sunday night?
I was looking for Sunday because I'm ready for bed.
So much. And it's been such a eventful weekend. So
I'm ready for bed. I'm already in my PJs ready for bed. Nah,
am I on a delay again?
I think you are
on a delay.
I think you are. Let's take
right, I'm going to switch
it. Now go to commercial real quick.
Over to my phone. I give up on this. Just
God, don't give up on me yet. I know I'm not your best bet, but I'm trying. Don't give up on me yet. Ooh, and God, don't leave me here alone. I know I need to grow still, and I'm trying. Don't leave me here alone.
Welcome back to Conversations with Trent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're online and want to be a part of tonight's topic, you can do that by dialing 347-324-5327. Press the number 1 to get into the queue so that your voice can be added to tonight's conversation. Now, let's get back to the show.
Back to the show. Hey, D, how are you?
Oh, I'm tired.
You're tired.
I know. I just finished putting together the raised beds that are supposed to help my back, and my back's killing me. Putting them together.
We got old people problems here tonight.
Oh.
We talk old people problems. I spent 18 years as a combat arms soldier, sir. It was a little different than you. It ain't old people problem.
There you go. There you go. Good stuff, man. We're talking about poisonous passion, the dangers of toxic attractions. How many folks can say or admit that they've been dealing with some toxic stuff every now and again, in and out relationships?
Never.
Shannon, where's the lightning rod? Stop it. You gonna tell me you have never dealt with a toxic man?
I'm being sarcastic. Okay. I haven't been on this earth this little speck of time and not come across a couple of toxic folks.
I know I have. I've actually been attracted to crazy women half my life, but I'm drawn to them. I was drawn to them. So sometimes, I tried to get away. Sometimes I didn't want to get away. It was just something about that craziness.
What was attractive about crazy? Because I've heard men say that. I mean, you hear, that the crazy ones are they say the crazy ones are the best ones in intimate situations. So
I could actually, probably so. High number, percentage number that is. But for me, it was back in the days, it was an adrenaline rush for me.
Mm.
It was an adrenaline rush, and it's kind of crazy if you ask me. But hey, man, sometimes we find ourselves, especially at a young age. I found myself dealing with these crazy women, and most of the time, I made them crazy because I went in wrong. I didn't want anything to do with that, but I was just playing with them.
Are you sure it was just your young age?
Stop.
I'm not trying to, out no, a bunch of stuff, but I will, but I'm just saying.
Stop.
So, Mark, good evening, Gentle Giant. Welcome. Glad you could join us. Alvin says, I just got rid of my problem. Toxic. Do we have an applause button? We need that.
Yeah, we do. I think we do. Let me see if
we need that for the Gentle Giant.
Okay. A few moments later.
Yeah, something like that.
We had to go through 5 different sounds to get to something.
It is what it is. I don't normally mess with those buttons over here, but
okay. So do you feel that it was all what part of that were you do you feel like you were toxic too, to a certain extent, when you were being attracted to
toxic?
Because it says, they say we attract what we are, not necessarily what we want.
Yeah, I was definitely toxic. Definitely. So I knew I was attracting exactly who I was because I wasn't serious with him. What's going on? Do you need to?
No, I'm fixing my laptop. I have a laptop mount now, so I had to sort myself out.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think mine is about to melt down too. I don't know what's going on with it, but I'm on my mobile device again tonight.
So D,
yeah,
tell me, as far as when we talk about poison is toxic, and all that stuff, right? Passion. That's what poisonous passion. And the dangers are toxic. Why do you find that? Or do you find that most men are attracted to toxic women? Do you find that to be a true statement?
I don't think so. Unhealed men.
Okay.
Because guess what? If you're healed and you're in a healthy mental state, you don't want crazy around you.
At all.
Not toxic.
At all.
You only do that when people are matching your energy. That's like any man who says, I want her to be my piece, stay away, because he don't know what peace is.
Is that true?
Because they don't have to talk about it if they already have it.
Very true.
Just like leaders don't call themselves leaders, because they are.
Exactly.
Right? So, yeah.
Exactly.
Stay away. And it's all about your attachment style, right? If you're not healed, you probably still got your avoidant or your insecure attachment style. So your trauma bond with somebody who's toxic, because the on off, the high and the low keep you attached.
Right. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's truly attracted to toxic women. Like, he gets off on it. He truly gets off on it. I mean, it's just him. That's all he's ever done.
So here's the thing though. Is that a kink, or is that a unhealed mental state? Because there's two different things.
Now that you say that, I think that's a kinkiness in him. I think that now that you say that, I'm gonna have to actually circle back on him and tell him that I think that's a kinky thing with you.
Yeah. Right.
Because he had this devilish smile when he was talking about him. It was a devilish type smile, like that gets me going.
So does it get him going sexually, or does it get him going in a I need to control and conquer this person?
No control sexually.
Yeah,
no
then
control.
It's a kink.
Yeah.
Because if it's the other way, then I need to humble her, I need to control her, I need to break her. That's a whole different thing. That's an unhealed person.
Yeah, I was wondering if there's a certain level of control that individual would be looking for, that they're attracted to, or they seek out other individuals who are not healed or toxic.
Yeah. They misplace high emotions for passion.
Right.
So it's emotional dysregulation of what it is, but they mistake it for passion. So, there's a wild in bed. I'm like, yeah, because they have issues, and that's how they get their anger out, or their frustration and everything out.
Right. Here's the thing, though. I knew what you meant when you were saying that, but the average person won't know that. They're feeling, well, come on, yeah, but they don't know. They won't know.
We know. We all see the red flags. We just ignore them.
We ignore the red flag, but how many people can honestly say they recognize a genuine red flag? Because if they're unhealed, they're not going to recognize that.
I think
even if you're not healed, you still recognize it.
Yeah, but I think that Mark had a comment. Let me read his comment. He says, I have to agree with Mr. Epic. No one goes into it to see their mate with seeing their mate with an I'm toxic sign around their neck. The toxic doesn't reveal itself in the get to know you phase. And I think that there are some times when we're still in that representative phase where those things, people are masking those. So you don't necessarily see them right off. But there are other instances that I have seen where it's like they're there. They're not necessarily trying to mask more. Either they're that bad that they can't be masked for you to avoid them.
I'll give you an example, right? Well, one of my situations.
Oh Lord.
I saw the red flag.
Hold on.
And I was the whole look at this fool.
Okay,
Stop.
Continue.
So I saw the red flag, but I'm saying to myself, I can fix that. Let me turn the page on this. I'll deal with that. I can make that work because that's what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? I wanted her, so I want to fix it. I'm in the fix it stage. I can fix it. No, you
didn't want her. You wanted what you thought. You wanted her potential.
There you go.
And that's where a lot of people get caught up. That's why people like, oh, you need to build him. No, he's a whole complete man. If somebody asks you to build him, you can take him to Lowe's and find himself some wood. He can get his own DIY project going.
But in early stages, man, that's what we get in trouble at in the early stages of the relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's very imperative that when you see it, say something.
Yeah.
All these years later, I've acquired all this knowledge on this stuff and whatnot, and spoke on this over the years. And when you see it, address it. Period. Because it's gonna be a problem down the line. Trust me, it will be a problem.
So have you always been like the Captain Save-A-Ho?
It depends on what you're saying. I've always been tight financially. I just don't give it up like that. They got to earn that. But as far as wanting to save someone, as far as, not financially like that though. Like if I see somebody hurting like that, I could fix that. We could work on that. But
so nobody's going to change unless they're ready for change.
That's true. I learned that the hard way though. I learned it the very hard way.
Mark said the red flags are hidden in plain sight. Yes, they can. Yes, sometimes
That's
they
true. Absolutely. But in order for you to, I agree with you, D. Halfway on that. Everybody sees the red flag, but a ton of us don't understand or recognize them when we see them. You see what I'm saying? Like back then, I saw the red flag, but I really didn't recognize it because I was still unhealed.
And back then, you were the red flag.
Yeah.
Hey, D. Hey, how many times keep me out of this stuff? No, I'm just joking. Go ahead.
You were talking about back then. You saw the red flags. You were the red flag. You didn't see.
Yeah. So what do you mean you didn't recognize it was in somebody else?
Yeah. Meaning because I was unhealed. So I could see the red flag, but I didn't recognize it. I couldn't do anything about it because it was foreign to me. The red flag was foreign to me. I was unhealed.
I mean,
but here's the thing. We know what red flags are. We don't just call them red flags. We call them quirks or weird things they do or stuff that annoys us, stuff that bothers us. That's red flags, right?
That's a red flag.
Yeah. Like if they I had a friend who went on a date, first date, and the guy ordered for her, but she has allergies. She told him he has allergies. And that she has to ask questions and then order her own food as a precaution. Okay. He ignored her and ordered a food that contained mushrooms, which she's allergic to.
Exactly. I'll give you an example, right? And we're going to talk about the curtains for half a smidge, but we won't be bringing up any numbers, Mark. We won't talk about numbers. But when that first happened with the curtains, the shades, remember the shades?
Oh, okay. We're wondering where you're going.
Yeah. So when that first happened with the shades, I knew it was a red flag. And just like Dee said, it was a quirk. Even though she would place the money and put it back the following week, it was still a problem. Even though she was able to do it, it was still a problem, and I didn't address it. I didn't stop the red flag. I didn't call her out on the red flag. So
but what was a red flag though?
It was too much money. And I didn't say no.
But is it a red flag if they put the money all back? That's not a red flag. That's you being cheaper.
No.
Because
if I make a decision, if I made a decision, this is what we're not gonna do. I don't care if she put the money back, it was still a problem.
But she was spending money that she was gonna put back. So inevitably she was spending her money.
Again, it's still a problem. When the money comes into the house, it's everybody's money. But my whole point is, I didn't say no initially because we could have put those racks somewhere else, even if it was her money or my money. You see what I'm saying? I didn't say no.
I see what you're saying. I just disagree with you. That's all.
I didn't say no. I created the monster. That monster bit me in the butt years later.
Yeah, but the monster didn't bite you in the butt with the money part. It was other stuff.
That was a communication issue.
My whole point is, just because she put the money back does not mean, let's just put a number on it. Let's just say 10,000. She put the $10,000 back. That's still 10,000 gone out of the pot. I don't care where it came from.
I don't think for you the money. It was the money was the issue. I think the issue was she really didn't do. No, it's not. The money wasn't the issue. I think for me, what I'm hearing is that it was more so she didn't do what you may have agreed to have done or what you had said we weren't going to do.
Exactly. But my whole point is,
did you catch that, D? More so about what not listening to what he wanted her to do.
Yeah.
You guys are showing yourselves now.
I'm not showing
this goes into a whole different conversation here when you think about this. Even though it was my money initially and she put it back into the account, it was still the thing where I'm saying, hey, this is not what we should be doing.
Okay.
This is what we should not be doing. We should not be spending this type of money, period.
But was there agreement between the two of you, or was it just you saying this is not what we should be doing?
It was an agreement. It was agreement.
Okay.
I just gave in to her. That was my whole point. I gave into it. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that opens up another topic for another day, but we'll get back to this one. If it's my money and she puts it back, that's still our money. And that's still the decision of no, we shouldn't be doing this.
But you're both red flags there. She didn't listen and you didn't communicate that you were angry, and so you're both red flags.
I get it, but you understand what I'm saying about that whole money part, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I
just want to make a point of that, because I'm gonna circle back with y'all on that one.
Okay. Mark said, "Ayo, Mr. Epic, don't let him put cools out on Romelo's Persian rug." I don't know what that means. What do you mean slow down over there, Shanna Bright? I haven't even done anything.
Y'all attacking me again.
Nobody's attacking you.
Okay, I felt attacked though.
I don't know why.
Are you gonna start crying like a white woman? What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hey, tonight I'm in my PJs and I have y'all know when I have my brace on.
Coach D.
Kind of vulnerable. When I have my brace on, I'm kind of vulnerable. And,
oh my God.
I felt attacked.
She gonna have us cancel him.
Yeah, they're gonna cancel us.
Listen, I was told to go back to Africa today, and I was like, I'm from Canada.
You were told. Wait, you were told to go back to Africa?
I was in a multicultural moms Facebook group, and some lady who is a Trumper was talking about, oh, I didn't think he was going to deport my friends and family. I'm like, ma'am, you're married to an undocumented man. What were you expecting? You voted for that. And then she's like, well, you just need to go back to Africa. I'm like, I'm from Canada.
I can't remember what it was, somebody's post, but it's like they didn't think it was, they heard what he said, and I'm sorry to get political, but they heard what he said when he was running on his campaign. They just didn't think it was going to happen to them. So you just thought it was going to happen to all the people that have color, melanated, and all this other stuff.
Yeah. So I'm spicy today. So I will not apologize for being spicy.
Mark has a comment.
Mark said, he said, "Hi, Princess Coach D, looking rather Canadian regal tonight."
Mark's buttering me up. That's not a good sign. What are you up to?
I'm like,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mark.
We might all be trying to.
You see the response? That was a great response. I'm proud of you, D. That was a great response. You thank Mark for his complimentary compliment.
Listen, me and Mark have a love-hate relationship. He likes to instigate and I like to get angry because I'm a passionate red-headed Black woman. Blame the Irish DNA, whatever. That's how it works. You leave the two of us alone.
Would that be a toxic attraction?
A toxic attraction? There's no attraction.
I'm just joking.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to circle back to the top. So back to this toxic attraction. Why do you think people, go in that direction when I know when we're in situations and the relations get, going to tumultuous state and goes kind of bad, we stay into that. We stay in that bed with that situation.
Because people like making up.
Wait, go back to your question.
My question is, why people stay when they know damn well that situation, that poisonous passion is the thing that's getting them in there and locking them in. So why do they stay? And she said they like making up. They like, that's different. So what does that look like, D? Because
come on, we have all had friends who've been with somebody who is either dignified or what's the other term? I don't know what the other term is.
Dickmatized and pussy whipped.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my God.
Who have no business being with that person, and they're only there because of the sex. No business because they're both toxic. Neither one of them communicate. right? They're always arguing, but then they always make up, and that's it. That's their cycle.
So does that go back to the kinky thing? Is that kinky? Would you call that?
No.
Would that be
I don't know.
considered
No,
kinky?
I don't
That's
think
not a
that's
kink.
Okay.
you are on one tonight, Coach D.
It's a trauma.
You know what? We all
You
just like either
And
good,
actually,
good
and then when you say
good
kink, you
feed
kind of
either way.
smiled, D. I mean, what was that all about?
What's that?
I'm teasing.
He said you have a smile and you're glowing. So is I don't know.
Sir, I paid $42,000 for these teeth. You're going to see them all the time. All the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no thing under the table over here. We put everything on the table,
God. Okay.
transparency and all.
They cost a lot of money.
Good stuff. This girl.
You asked why I'm smiling. That's why I'm smiling. Get
Mark,
everybody good.
Mark, I'm not going fast. He told me to slow down on the crushed grapes tonight.
Yeah, she hitting them up.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Sometimes you need to drink when you talk about some of this stuff because people are just ridiculous.
What's the best way, in your professional opinion, what's the best way to approach a toxic person when you're trying to move past the situation?
What do you mean?
What's the best way to communicate it as far as approaching that person and addressing whatever toxic that person sees in that person? Like, hey,
are you dumping them or are you just communicating?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand.
Let's go with the dump and see how you respond to the dump. How do we let them go? If we're ready to have that conversation.
Just have a conversation. I'm sorry, this is not what I'm looking for at this time. Yeah. It's pretty much it. You want to add stuff more to it, you can, but it depends on what the situation is and what you're not liking. But just basically woman to person, listen, this isn't working for me. You're a great person, blah, blah, blah. But I just can't see us moving further.
It's not you, it's me.
Oh, I don't say that.
I tried that so many times and I became the bad guy. Yeah. I tried that so many times and I became the bad guy.
No, just tell them straight up. If they ask you, if they ask, then tell them. Like I don't like how you do this, this, and this.
I have a question.
I turn out to be the villain. I turn out to be the villain every time I've tried that.
Hold on.
I turn out to be the villain.
I have a question, and this is more about the transparency conversations when we're talking about, things that you may not like in a relationship with somebody, right?
Yeah.
And I was having this conversation with some friends of mine, but this is a little off topic, but do men really want you to tell them, like, how do you really want to know if a woman tells you something that in regards to your performance in the bedroom or the size of your man parts? Do you want a woman to be that transparent?
That it don't matter to me. It wouldn't matter to me because now what I'm saying, listen to me. Listen before you ask the question, I'm gonna answer it. If it's gonna enhance the relationship, let's talk about it. I'm not gonna feel less than.
How is it gonna enhance the relationship? So we're talking about one of the things. Let's say that because I have friends who that sexual connection is extremely important. Sexual chemistry and connection is extremely important in a relationship, right?
Also, you're not in a relationship already.
I'm not. This is somebody who's in a relationship, right? And they've been, and maybe they were trying to see if they could move beyond it and be, love all the other things that they may have loved about this person, or supersede all that. But they realize they just can't because now they're not fulfilled in any capacity. Yeah. Whether it's with how they working or with the size. Well, do you want that feedback as a man?
It wouldn't matter to me. Honestly, if it's not working for her, it's not working for her. If it's not working, it's not working.
Okay.
I've never, as a man, I've never believed in, hey, this is not working for me in the bed. Okay, cool. Well, let's not go there.
Has a woman ever told you that?
Never.
Okay.
And
or did she just leave and not tell you? Because sometimes we just leave and we just don't say anything because I'm gonna be honest. I don't think men's egos really can take it. And I don't really think you really want to know. But okay.
Bull. I don't know what guys you're talking about. But as far as for me, I've never had that type of problem where there was gonna be an issue like that.
Hold up.
I believe in the whole adapt and adjust. if I'm not pleasing in one way, show me another way. Let's get this together.
I don't know how you're
If we're in
gonna
a relationship,
I don't know how
if
you're
we're in a
gonna adapt and adjust, 3 or 4 inches unless you do like Ocho
that
Cinco.
sounds like a problem for you, right? But then we're gonna pull
No,
out the
I'm just saying
If-
I don't know how. No,
if we're in a
it's not problem,
relationship-
it's no. Don't, why you
Let me
trying
finish.
to?
Let me finish. And we hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, no,
We-
I'm serious.
Okay, cool. So if you telling me, hey Trent, you know what? That 8.5 just ain't 9 or 10. If we're in a relationship, say let's go get a tool. We work that tool into the bedroom. Compromise, ladies and gentlemen. Compromise.
I know, but I mean, women don't always want a tool. Okay, the whole gist of this is
the
that
tool in the hand can do some
men want
wonderful
that
things. Go ahead.
do men want that type of transparency? And I'm just asking,
As far as for me, I wouldn't mind that. I want you to be honest and open with me. So I'm not gonna hide behind no ego, talking about, oh, you can't tell me that. Nah, not at all.
Look at
D, how spicy are you tonight? So can I bring up something from the past? Yeah, how spicy are you tonight?
I don't know if you want to do that.
Wait a minute, I want to do that, but Mark said a Yelp review outside of the French doors. Where do they do that? That's what I'm asking. Do you want to know?
Here's the thing. I do not have a poker face.
Here's the thing.
I'm not happy.
Trent, time out. Stop, Trent. Go ahead, Coach D.
Because if I'm not happy, I just tell people straight up, this ain't working for me. We gotta change this up. But here's the thing.
One thing about D.
Wait, Trent, let her finish.
Let me go back. If you're not sexually compatible and you are not getting enough, that will ruin the relationship.
Right. Okay. Well, here's the thing. One thing about D is she communicates. So even before we even went there, I already knew what to do because she put the blueprint on the table. So there was no hidden things, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't no thing, oh, what, Trent, you didn't do it this way. Nah, because you told me this is what you like. I mean, she was very vocal.
So there was a conversation. There was conversation and communication.
Oh, absolutely.
And I told him straight up, I have a very high sex drive. He can't hang, we can't hang.
Okay.
And indeed, she did say that, and indeed, she came through bringing that noise, and I enjoyed every moment of it. She brought that noise.
Should I exit the room for a minute?
He didn't have to go there. But here's the thing: if you don't tell people what you like and what you don't like, and you end up sexually frustrated, that is on you, because people can't read minds.
One more time for the people in the back, because that was very important what you just said.
What, people can't read minds? You have to communicate what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
And if you don't, and my personal, I believe in this, and I'll stand 10 toes down. If you know you enjoy a certain size and you didn't give this man a twizz-eye, you didn't give up a freebie. You might as well tell him this is not gonna work for me, and just be done with the relationship. Yeah,
because if he's hung like an enraged hamster and don't know what he's doing, then why waste your time?
I can't believe you real spicy tonight.
Oh
Mark got a couple questions. Mark got a couple comments. D is tripping tonight.
Oh, he was asking, do I want to offer a Yelp review to anyone? Hashtag suggestions. No, it was a general question from a conversation, and it was really it was really more leading to can a man's ego really handle that type of transparency? And other than Mr. Epic, for any of the male viewers that want to comment, like, do you want that type of transparency? Do you feel that your ego is strong? Like, do men really know if they have a small penis? Like, are they just
not really? No, I mean, let's just be honest and fair, right? Let's be honest and fair. The average man is probably around 8.5, 9 inches.
Oh, wait, what?
It's 6.
You were crazy.
It's 6. No.
Well, I don't know how they do it in the Midwest and on the East Coast.
Oh my God!
Down south, we start at 8.5, 9.
Oh God!
No, you don't.
These stops. Stop.
Thank you.
Wasn't you working on your computer over there or something you were doing?
No, my laptop stands up now. It's all set. I'm good.
Okay.
Sir, what?
Mark again. Go ahead.
He says some ladies have only experienced saltines, never knowing the buttery goodness of a Ritz cracker. No, that's the problem, that we do know that we have experienced the buttery richness of a Ritz cracker, and then a saltine comes along. But does the saltine really know that they're a saltine, or are they like hyping themselves up? Like, is it? Hold on, and is it because we as women are allowing these saltines to go around thinking that they in the Ritz cracker category? Because we're not being transparent with them because we're afraid their egos can't take it. Okay, so that's why I'm asking: do you want that transparency as a man?
Shannon, just because you're in the single box here?
Oh God,
it's still over a conversation with Trent and friends and Kobe. Okay, now listen. Let's hover around. Let's hover around what D said. I think that's very important.
What
D said. If you didn't gave up a freebie, she didn't say it like that. I'm just, you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
If you gave up a freebie, but you didn't like his size, now his size becomes a problem. You're going to have to give that freebie up and say, hey, listen, the relationship is over. How many women have done that before? Girl, I can't deal with his size. You can't do nothing for me in bed. Girl, you done gave up a freebie. So stop complaining and move along.
What do you mean? No, it's not. It's not necessarily giving up a freebie. Sometimes you got to do a test drive.
That's a freebie.
I mean, but it's not like you just gave it up.
Shannon,
Look, it's called research.
Shannon, do you know what you just said? How many guys get a test drive? Come on now.
Okay, okay. Now I have
fellas, do you guys hear that?
I will say
fellas,
I have
do you guys hear that, fellas? They're giving up free drives. They're giving up a ride for free to check it out. Do you hear that? You don't even have to change the off.
It wasn't necessarily just a ride. I mean, you're talking about maybe being.
That's what it sounded like to me. You said a free ride,
sir. You could be in a relationship, and then maybe somebody's applying the 90-day rule or whatnot, right? And you're finally going in, and now you're trying to test the waters. You're trying to see what the chemistry is all like, and then you're like, ooh,
Shannon, banana, clean it up.
No, I'm not cleaning it up. I'm just being whatever.
Mark said.
Mark said. Oh no, Mark. That was the old comment.
Did you hear D? What'd you say, D?
I said she ain't wrong. Sorry.
Okay.
Y'all think y'all think your God's gifts to women. You're here walking around like enraged hamsters, not knowing what you're doing, and thinking you got the God's, like, please.
Okay. Hold that thought. Mark's comment, he said most don't recognize the difference between a well-made muffin and over iced and sprinkled and an over iced and sprinkled cupcake. Yeah. Look, Alvin put the eyes in there. He's looking out listening. But I mean, it could go, and I mean, this conversation is kind of taking a turn though, but it's the transparency. We'll circle back. But and I would just say just even for me, even sometimes you can have the size and then not know what to do with it. And even I have walked away from that. It's like, that's like a waste. No, thank you.
So you test drive halfway. You did a test.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And but y'all need to know, but do y'all recognize and understand that and I like the saltine Ritz cracker. If you was like, do men really understand or know enough to know that they're a saltine? Because I see too many men around here like thinking they Ritz crackers when they're still saltines. And the off-brand saltine, like the Walmart brand.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think every man should be filled with confidence and confident enough to know, confident enough to say, hey, listen.
Though. Y'all are confident. You got nothing to back it up.
Right.
Can I finish? Let me finish my thought real quick for a second here. I believe that every man should walk in confident enough to say, hey, I am the shit, or confident to say, hey, this is out of my arena, and be done with it and walk away. So I believe a man should be confident in his walk. Walk like a ball player, baby. Walk like a ball player.
But you're not throwing like a real ball player. You're not dunking like LeBron. Like, you're not doing that.
We go into the
I can't
gym so
even
we see
reach
what
the
those
rim.
gray sweatpants look like.
I
Right.
can't speak that. I can't speak for every man. I've never dunked the ball in my life, but when I walk into every room, I walk like a ball player.
Oh dear God in heaven.
Or should I say a ball player?
I
Or
guarantee
should I
you
say?
that,
Or should I say a ball player walk like Trent? That's how confident I am. Let's
sir,
get
I
back to the topic, please.
I guarantee you, if we could go back and poll every woman, there is
I've
at
never had a
least
problem.
one. You may not have known because she didn't tell you, because she around here letting you think that you were
That means
down
she
with
done gave the
Trapper with the
freebie
football
up.
team.
That means I got a freebie, and which I'm good with that.
Okay.
D is not the only spicy one here tonight. I'm spicy in my pajamas tonight.
Okay. Walk. So
Shannon,
somewhere
you know
along
the
the line,
traumatic
these women have
weekend
you
I've
thinking that
had.
you. Hold on. They have you thinking you like not a Ritz cracker, like one of those. Well, what's like a Chessman cookie? And you really
talking to me,
maybe.
you talking to the
Yeah,
audience.
I'm just saying that like even like because I really think that your ego be overinflated sometimes. I really do.
This is me.
And I seriously, like, if you gave us a list, I would be willing to put a large sum of money on. There has got to be at least one woman who is going to be able to.
Technically, Shannon, the last time you placed a bet live on air with me, I have proof here today that you lost that bet.
Well, I tell you what, give us a list of every woman.
You know I'm not gonna do that here on this.
Oh, okay then. Well, I ain't gonna lose that bet.
What'd you say, D?
I said we can make some phone calls.
Right, that's what I'm
There's
saying.
be at least one.
We're not doing all that. Well, what you want to know? What you want to know?
No, I just feel that there's going to be at least one woman that you're walking around here saying that you've always hit a home run or a slam dunk or whatever.
I never said that. You didn't hear me say anything like that.
You said everybody was sad. You basically just sat here and alluded that everybody's satisfied. Like, I've never had that problem. You don't know that you've had that problem because most times
I've never been told that. I've never been told that at all.
Again, is it so? Do you want to be told? Would you want a woman to be that honest with you?
I'd be cool with it.
Actually, sir, you do get annoyed if somebody tells you if you say you're tired and the person tells you that they want to go again. You're like, I need a break.
Yeah, because she wanted to go all night. Because she wanted to go all night. Hey, I'm sleepy. You done fed me and I ate well and all this stuff. And I've been doing this for 2.5, 3 hours.
You got all. See, you're trying to be transparent. So I'm telling you. What were we talking about originally? This got way off topic.
We were talking about passion, poisonous passion. Hold on, we got the comments. Mark says my OG famously said it only takes a little D and a lot of imagination. Crackers come with soup, not Ritz. He says you can't just put a poster over a hole in the wall.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, he said, what's your on-base percentage again, Mr. Epic? A lie. It's a lie. It's a lie.
I stay on base, baby. I stay on base.
But here's the thing.
Even in this condition, I stay on base.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If she's wearing a matching brown panty set, she chose, not you.
How did we get on this topic? We're doing something.
Because here's the thing. Women sleep with who they want to. Men sleep with who they can.
Yes. Very true.
Can we say, because we always stay on a platform here.
What?
Some, not just, let's just not categorize every man like that. There is a special one. There's always going to be a special one. Always. Let's keep it a buck now.
Most men sleep with who they can. Most women.
It's a generality. We don't have to constantly specify a generality because you get in your feelings.
But you guys pacify me every time I say, let's just say most. Let's say most, because when y'all start, talking about men.
Because it is men. Because people, if they've watched a show long enough, they know that I speak in generalities, and I don't have to do it every single time because it's redundant.
You gotta make him feel good.
Sometimes I want to feel good. You gotta make me feel good. You know my condition.
That is so interesting, but that is so true and so interesting.
Yeah.
That whole thing about, women decide who they want to sleep with. Men just sleep with who they can. Yeah.
That's why you get all these guys who dump their wives because a couple of girls hit on them in the bar, so they think their market value is high. They dump their wives and they find out, whoa, their wife is getting hit on left, right, and center, even by their own buddies, and he's high and dry because he overestimated his market value.
Mark has a comment here.
I don't know what he says. And it's a tie to the runner. True Queen Coach D. Then the $40 sisters checked into the game. Okay.
I don't get that.
I don't get that. What does that mean, Trent? Speak, Mark.
He was responding to the whole correct me if I'm wrong, Mark. He was responding to the whole thing when you were talking about the men and women thing as far as a man wanting. Well, what did you say?
Women sleep with who they want to, and men sleep with who they can.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are some $40 out there. I've never had them, but
where did that dollar amount come up?
I have no idea.
Where's the $40? Because who's giving it away for $40?
I don't even talk to the $40 women.
Like who's really giving it away for $40?
Are we talking about
I've always wanted to ask. Honestly, I always wanted to ask guys about the $40 chick. I've always wanted to ask them that because I've never met one.
Well, yeah. Okay, what's the $40? Are you buying sex or are you buying them? What is the 40? Where's the $40 coming from?
Like the $40, like I give you 40 and we hang out and we're gonna bang, bang, bang. Like you get Popeye's chicken with some $40 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but
all right, I probably shouldn't have asked.
Don't. Go, I see you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So let's circle back since I think we're like 14 minutes out now to the hour. This was good though. This will probably make up a whole nother
video. That toxic behavior started coming back, and So he's talking about the 40. He's talking about the 40. Let's get it.
Oh, he said the $40 is to get some of them to go away thereafter.
Lord.
I don't know.
I've never met those type of broads. But go ahead. Go back to the
I beg. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're not going to really talk about you like that tonight. You got all these comments and you forget that we know you in real life. But okay. We won't go all in tonight. Okay, so let's get back to
the $40 woman. Come on, Shannon.
Sir.
Pick up a book.
I have seen a couple of them in the comment section. Don't do that.
Oh my God! Would you say, Shannon? Circle back on it.
Yes. So let's talk about. So Coach D was mentioned when we were asking about the attraction, and she was talking about being unhealed. So unhealed individuals who may get into these situations or relationships with folks that are toxic and experience trauma, or experience trauma, whether it's a man or woman in let's say it's some type of form of abuse or whatnot. When they finally decide to, or have that revelation that, they no longer want to deal with this, what do you recommend, or what steps should someone take as they're leaving or exiting being with that toxic person after experiencing that degree of trauma, to kind of start to heal themselves and maybe like rebuild their self-value, their self-worth, their self-esteem, so something like that.
So here's the thing: if it's an abusive situation, make sure you have a safety plan. Make sure you get help, because I can't remember what the percentage is, but it's an astronomical amount of women get harmed when they leave an abusive situation. So if you're leaving an abusive situation, make sure you reach out for assistance and have a safety plan and get all that stuff lined up before you leave. Otherwise, if you're dumping somebody, just dump them. Just communicate, like, hey, this isn't working for me. This is why it's not working. I think you're a great person. I think we should go our separate ways, right? And go your separate ways. Don't be we can still be friends, right? If you're not really friends, if you weren't friends with that person to begin with, you're not going to be friends with them after.
At all.
So what about the people? So if you're leaving, and I didn't even use myself, for example, I had someone that I dated, and it was a little, I was a little concerned for my own safety by
Mhm.
trying to leave the situation, as far as how, because I felt this person really was mentally unstable,
Yeah.
right? And like trying moving when you're in that type of a situation, like just saying that this isn't working doesn't necessarily work.
No.
Right.
What are your, like, what would you recommend?
So if you're leaving an abusive situation, I will honestly tell you to leave with zero contact. Go completely non-contact. Make sure you wipe your phone, wipe your computer, because chances are if they're abusive, they probably got trackers on everything, right?
Right.
Take your car to a garage, somebody you know, and have them scan the car, make sure there's no trackers on it, right?
Mm.
And make sure you have a safety plan. Make sure you reach out to the local domestic violence group for them to assist getting like no contact orders and all this stuff. And when you move, don't tell anybody where you are for at least 6 months, right? Like you can contact your friends and everything, but don't tell them where you are in case they're being watched, right? Because I have run across some abusive people who were tech geniuses and were stalking. Like they had trackers on the best friend's cars and the mother's car, not just their car, so they knew where everybody was at.
Oh, wow.
I give you guys a scenario here, a past experience of mine. I was dealing with this one woman. She split from this guy, and clean split. And I was dealing with her like maybe a year in, and the guy contacted her a year later. Like, he was stalker, come to restaurants, all that stuff. But this was a year later.
Mhm.
The guy knew exactly where I lived, and
Wow.
he told her. So I was like, texting back to her, I think he won't come here. But my whole point was he had a tracker inside the car under the seat. She knew nothing.
Mm.
She knew nothing about.
Oh
A
yeah.
year later.
Oh yeah. I met a whole pile of crazies just from talking to in different divorce groups.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of, and male and female, not just male and female.
But where that situation went wrong, she would communicate that she didn't want him, but before she was going back and forth. They was doing the back and forth dance.
Mhm.
The more times she would go back, the crazier he would get.
Mm.
So at that point, like I told her, somebody has to take some type of personal responsibility for the toxic they bring into the party,
Right.
or welcome into the.
No, when it's abusive for situations like that, it's not about bringing the toxic to the party. It's a
That situation
whole
was
different
abusive.
thing.
He was just a stalker and didn't want to let go.
Yeah, that's an abusive relationship, sir. If
But my whole point.
somebody's stalking,
all right. But you're telling me, even though she's doing the back and forth dance, that she doesn't have to take personal responsibility for some of that?
because it's trauma. There's trauma behind the back and forth dance.
I
That's
get
why
that.
it takes abused women 3 or 4 times to leave before they finally leave, because of the trauma involved.
And this is what we always disagree on this part.
Yeah, because you're wrong.
You telling me that she cannot take personal responsibility for some of the toxic she's welcoming to the party?
When somebody is in a state of trauma, no, they cannot.
D and I have always disagreed on this.
Yeah, because you're wrong. I've studied it. You're wrong, sir. That's why it takes people who are in abusive situations so many times to leave, because it's a trauma.
I get that. But at this point, right, when we're walking into the healing stages, when we're getting them past the 5 steps of grief and loss and all this other foolishness, we're walking into it, finally on the other side of that healness, you're telling me that they should be taking personal responsibility for the toxic they brought into the party, and the toxic they welcome to stay in the party, or the toxic that goes back and forth in that dance? They don't take no responsibility.
No, because I will never blame people being abused for being abused. That's never going to happen.
That's not blaming them. That's not blaming, but come on.
It is. It doesn't work that way because when you're in trauma, you have trauma responses. When you have trauma responses, your coping mechanism doesn't allow you because your brain is not working because your brain is stuck in fright and flight. So it's not going to allow you to make comprehensive decisions like that. It doesn't work that way. That's why that's why it's a cycle that has to be broken. If it wasn't a cycle, it wouldn't need to be broken.
I get it.
So when it
As
comes
always,
to abusive,
ladies and gentlemen,
that's why when it
Coaching
comes
not
to
with
abusive
360.
situations, I will never agree with you that they need to take responsibility while they're in that situation. They can look afterwards once they have healed completely.
That's what I said.
No,
That's what I
but
said
wait. Once they have healed completely, they're not looking at what the toxicity they have brought to the table. They're looking at why they didn't leave the table. It's a different conversation.
But when you say in your professional opinion that is very important to take some type of responsibility for the situation, like some of it, that's the only way that you can actually really move forward.
Are you trying to say responsibility for why you may have allowed yourself to accept certain behaviors and be in certain situations?
Not the entire situation. I'm talking about the back and forth at this point because we hovered around that whole point of the girl that I used to date dancing back and forth. And the more she danced back and forth with this guy, the crazier he got. The crazy he didn't want to let her go. I know it's trauma, D, but at some point she had to take some responsibility for that once she got on the other side of it.
Why would she accept the responsibility if she's in a trauma state?
Help me out here a little bit. I mean, come on.
So here's the thing. If you're in a trauma state and you're in an abusive situation, chances are you might have PTSD. You might have flashbacks. You might have all kinds of stuff. It doesn't, your brain does not allow you to accept responsibility. They'll have short-term memory loss. They won't even remember some of the stuff that happened.
When they're on the other side of the healing, when they're on the other side of the stalking, at some point you have to look back at them and say, what did I do in the situation to have him go back and forth like that?
But that's not the example that you gave. You said while they're in the back and forth. So while they're in the back and forth is a totally different time period than when she's outside of it and she's healed and she's looking back and trying to kind of assess why. So which one are we talking? To me, I'm hearing two different time states with the relationship.
What I'm saying, let's talk about the dancing back and forth, even after the situation's over.
Right.
Like, why are you pacifying this stalker?
I don't think it's because they haven't healed yet, Trent. If they're still going, to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Coach D, if they're still going back and forth, they're not beyond it. They're not healed. They're still in that state of trauma.
Let's get back to
if they're still going back and forth.
Let's get back to what I was saying. It was a year in afterward. Like, I was dating her at that point. It was a year, an entire year.
Right.
Listen to what I'm saying. After an entire year, he has a tracker in her car she knew nothing about. But I said, like I told her, I said, at some point, that register's been over, but when are you going to take some responsibility for the toxic you were welcoming into the party?
Did she tell you to F off? Because that's what she should have done.
Oh, that's BS.
Am I the only one that's confused here and feel like
I was very clear. No,
you weren't very clear because you said you were. Did I miss it?
I think you did.
It was in the midst of the back and the.
No. I told her we were dating a year when she discovered a tracker in the car.
Okay.
So he was stalking her. I run the tape. Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
That doesn't mean she was healed. She could be dating you for 3 years. That don't mean she's healed.
My response to her was, the reason why not is dude stalking me about to get killed. Stalking me because you was going with the back and forth with this guy. At some point, you were back and forth, doing the back and forth.
So was she doing the back and forth while she was with you? Because I'm so confused.
Some people are just crazy, Shannon. Some people are just crazy.
But I'm just so confused now.
But you can't blame somebody for doing the back and forth, like you just said.
It's quite funny that you're confused when I start talking about personal responsibility. Come on, man.
I'm not confused, sir. Let's make it real clear. I'm not confused about personal responsibility. Now
I'm saying as far as with women taking personal responsibility for
No, and
some of
stop saying women, because men have the
some
issue too.
some
So
women,
stop, because men get it too. Just like men get caught up in can be an abusive relationship as well, right?
Ladies and
But
gentlemen, we're up on the 8 o'clock hour here.
yes. But I'm no, I'm not confused about that. I was just confused. Like, I guess I missed that you had said that we're a year into dating and she's basically supposed to be healed. I'm thinking you're.
No, I wasn't talking about back and forth with me while she
But I
was
don't.
with me. No.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you're talking about back and forth while she's with him, and you can't do that. That's what I said. You can't talk. You can't go up to somebody. Well, you were going back and forth with them, so you're bringing toxic to the play. No, because that's
Okay.
like, I swear to God, for I don't know how many decades we've been talking about this, and you still can't get it. If somebody's in an abusive cycle, they can't take responsibility for it because it's a cycle. Jesus Christ, man.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I
Lord.
feel attacked. I feel attacked, ladies and gentlemen.
You should feel attacked, because I feel
suffering
like
over here.
you
I'm
should.
suffering over here, full of spasms right now, and
you know what? Get off your BS right now with that crap. You do that real conveniently. I'm sorry, but because I want to make sure we don't miss it. When we were talking about the $40 stuff, and I'm gonna move past this part of the conversation because I feel like you just got off on a tangent. But your own brother said, Mr. Epic, you know about the $40. And Mark says we all know a few $40 sisters. If nobody cared, Tupac cared. Thank you, Alvin, for keeping him honest, because we know. I've seen a couple of them, and I've seen a couple of them on the live in the comments at times. So,
Shannon, stop being petty. Stop being petty, please.
We're not being petty. We're being honest,
right?
Like,
even
authentic and transparent.
Ursula talked about your fleas.
Lordy. You know what?
It's definitely all good. Ladies and gentlemen, we're up on the 2 minutes after 8 here in Central and 9 Eastern. You could always catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Taylor Kennedy TV, tayken.com is the spot. We truly appreciate you guys subscribing. Subscribe to Apple, subscribe to Spotify, or even over there on the Roku channel, all that good stuff, man. Taylor Kennedy, Tayken.
I'm about to say, didn't you change the name?
I did shorten it. I shortened it up for you guys. I thought it was kind of long. I've had that domain for so many years, and thought I shortened it up to their nicknames, Tay and Ken. So tayken.com is the spot. You can get paraphernalia, you can get books, you can get all that good stuff, man. You can even subscribe right there on the website. So tayken.com. Good stuff. You can always catch Coach D here coaching, doing a wonderful coaching. And
I'm wonderful. Wasn't talking about you.
There you go. You can always catch Shannon Banana over here.
I'm about
causing
to say,
trouble.
You're lucky we're at the end of the show. Okay. I got you next week, though. I got you.
It's all good. All good. So we really appreciate that, man. Catch me on Thursday with Coach Catherine Gether. We'll be talking about juicing versus smoothies. So we'll be talking about that on the conversation broadcasting from France. The nutritious coach, Catherine Gether, over in France. So at 7 a.m. U.S. and 2 European time, I believe it is. Yeah, 2 o'clock European time. And over in East Africa, 2 hours after that. So you guys did a math on yourself. So
just Google it. Google it. Please don't leave it up to him. Don't worry. We know. Can you wrap this up?
We can definitely wrap it up. So we can catch us in 175 different countries or regions. The conversation with the wonderful ladies, it would not be anything without them. So
thank you for acknowledging that.
Absolutely. I mean,
join us next week. You're good. Join us next week when we talk about Mr. Epic's $40 experiences. That's gonna be great. That's gonna
be great. The topic. Is that the
that's
topic?
Gonna be great.
Oh, yeah. One more. Mark had one more comment. We'll go ahead.
Oh, he says, Mr. Epic, you can't blame the victim, even if she's kidnapped and shows signs of Stockholm syndrome. It's a condition, not a cause. You've got to come clean, my brother. What? What? Wait, Mark is all. He is really on it tonight with you, Coach D.
Thank you, Mark.
This
You said
is
that.
very rare. This is rare.
We know it. We know
Slash
it was Mark because he said, "Ayo, Mr. Epic." That's how he started it off.
Wow, that's
Even Mark knows you're wrong. You've been wrong for 20. Anyway, anyhow, I got to go get Xavier ready for school tomorrow. I hope you all have a wonderful week. We'll find something spicy to talk about next week.
$40.
Instead of 40 acres and a mule is $40.
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys be epic.
Have a good night. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.